my reaction was just like, oh, okay. I didn't really think too much into it, honestly. I did not.
Y'all, if you thought Melody had already survived the worst storms, think again. Because this time, the drama didn't just stay on social media, and it didn't end with a heated argument on camera. No, this time it walked straight into a courtroom.
Tell y'all, Marcella. If y'all ain't following Marcella, y'all better go there and follow Marcella. That just DA over there, district attorney, I ain't lying. That girl, I don't call her no bitch because that's my girl. I can call her one, but because, that's my girl. But Marcella over there spilling tea, honey. Somebody said, is it storming? Nah, I ain't gonna tell y'all. Y'all got to come on my live if y'all want to know what's going on.
And what happened there has fans holding their breath. Melody, the woman who's been praised for keeping her composure, building her brand, and rising above the mess, is now facing a moment that could flip her entire story upside down. Because Wanda didn't just show up with attitude this time, she showed up with proof. And according to whispers coming out of that courtroom, the evidence was so shocking that even people who've always defended Melody are starting to ask uncomfortable questions. What nobody expected was that this feud would go this far, this fast. And the scariest part? This isn't just about feelings anymore. This could be about reputations, money, and who the public finally believes when the smoke clears. So before you pick a side, before you decide who's right and who's wrong, let's slow it down and talk about how we even got here. Because this mess didn't start yesterday, and it definitely didn't end with one court appearance.
Everybody has been watching, media. So you look at the time frame, right? If you look at the time frame, do you think there's been time for a person to mature, grow up, heal, do what needs to be done to be a better person? Do you think that? That's what I'll say.
Melody didn't become who she is overnight. Long before the cameras, before the applause, before the fans calling her strong and unbothered, she was just a woman trying to build something solid for herself and her family. She was seen as driven, focused, and smart, the kind of person who planned 10 steps ahead while everyone else was still reacting. That's why so many people connected to her. She represented growth. She represented a woman who refused to let chaos define her.
So good. But it does have showing up Miss Wanda. Y'all got to show up. Y'all might have to show up and show out. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. GD. GD. I ain't said no GED. I said GD. Okay? A lot of y'all might say, oh, that's about all she got is a GED. And real, and did, and will, and got it. That part right there. Because I know some meters up in.
On screen, Melody often came across calm, measured, and intentional. Even when things around her were messy, she tried to hold it together. And that image, it earned her a loyal fan base that stood 10 toes down for her no matter what. But here's the thing about reality TV and real life blending together. When families get involved, when egos clash, and when old resentments pile up, even the calmest person can find themselves backed into a corner. Wanda has never been quiet. From the beginning, she's been outspoken, blunt, and sometimes reckless with her words. Some people loved that about her, calling it keeping it real. Others felt she crossed lines that should never be touched, especially when children and family were brought into it. Over time, tension between Melody and Wanda grew into something personal. It wasn't just shade anymore. It was resentment. It was pride. It was two women who felt disrespected in very different ways. What made it worse was how public everything became. Every comment, every side-eye, every rumor lived forever online. Fans dissected every scene, every interview, every tweet, trying to figure out who was telling the truth. And for a long time, Melody looked like the one taking the high road. She stayed polished, she stayed focused on business, she stayed silent when others were loud. But silence can be dangerous too, because when one person talks long enough, their version starts to feel like the only version. And Wanda talked a lot. Now let's get into where things really started to crack. The accusations didn't just float around for fun. Wanda repeatedly claimed that Melody wasn't as innocent as she appeared. She suggested that behind closed doors, Melody was pulling strings, stirring tension, and playing victim when it benefited her. At first, most people brushed it off. They called it bitterness, they called it jealousy, they said Wanda was doing too much for attention. But Wanda kept saying the same thing over and over: "I've got proof." And usually when someone keeps saying that, you assume it's empty talk. Until it isn't. Here's where the twist comes in. After their most explosive public confrontation, the kind that had security stepping in and phones recording every second, Wanda didn't go home to cool off. She didn't take to Instagram Live to rant like people expected. Instead, she went quiet, and silence from someone like Wanda? That alone raised eyebrows. Then word started spreading that legal papers were being filed, that court dates were being set, and finally that Wanda was preparing to present evidence, real evidence. Not opinions, not feelings, receipts. When Wanda walked into that courtroom, people expected chaos. What they didn't expect was preparation. According to multiple reports, Wanda came in with documents, messages, and materials that allegedly showed a very different side of Melody. Text messages that suggested manipulation, audio recordings that hinted at threats or intimidation, and witness statements from people who claimed they'd seen Melody act completely different when cameras weren't around. Now, let's be clear, none of this has been fully released to the public yet, but the reactions inside that courtroom spoke volumes.
Sources say the energy shifted fast. What started as another chapter of reality TV drama suddenly felt serious. Lawyers leaned in, faces changed, and Melody, who's usually unshaken, reportedly looked caught off guard. That's the part fans can't stop talking about, because Melody is known for being prepared. So if even for a moment she wasn't ready, people are asking why. What nobody expected was how detailed Wanda's claims were. She wasn't just accusing Melody of talking mess, she was allegedly pointing to patterns, claiming Melody knew exactly how to push buttons without getting her hands dirty, that she'd provoke situations, then step back and let others look crazy. Wanda's argument was simple but dangerous. Melody's image was carefully crafted, and the truth lived off camera. If the evidence holds up, this isn't just embarrassing, it's damaging. Because in the court of public opinion, perception is everything. Melody's brand has been built on strength, integrity, and growth. If fans start believing she was playing games behind the scenes, that foundation starts to crack. And Wanda knows that. That's why bringing this to court instead of social media was such a power move. It sent a message. I'm not just talking, I'm standing on this. Now, Melody's response so far has been quiet. No emotional posts, no long explanations. And that silence has fans split down the middle. Some believe she's being smart, letting her lawyers handle it. Others think she's scrambling, trying to figure out her next move, because there are only so many options here. She can deny everything and say Wanda's evidence is taken out of context, she can counter with her own receipts, or she can try to settle things quietly to avoid further damage. But here's the problem. Once something hits the courtroom, it doesn't stay private for long. Leaks happen, stories get twisted, and narratives form before facts are fully known. Fans have already started choosing sides. Wanda supporters are saying this is the moment the mask finally slips, that Melody has been protected by editing and favoritism for too long. They're calling Wanda brave for standing up and risking backlash. On the other hand, Melody's loyal fans are calling this a setup. They believe Wanda has been obsessed for years and finally found a way to hurt Melody where it counts. Social media is a mess right now. Clips are being replayed, old interviews are being reanalyzed, people are suddenly seeing red flags they claim were always there. Others are defending Melody harder than ever, saying strong women always get torn down when they don't play nice. And in the middle of all that noise is a real person facing real consequences. Because beyond the show, beyond the fans, this affects Melody's family, her children, her business deals, her mental health. Imagine building something for years only to watch it shake because of allegations you say aren't true. Or imagine feeling like you've been gaslit for years and finally having a chance to prove it. That's the emotional weight both sides are carrying right now.
What makes this even heavier is how it's pulling other people into the mess. Friends are being asked to choose sides, past conversations are being dragged into the light, even moments that once seemed harmless are now being questioned. Trust starts to disappear when everyone's wondering who might end up on the witness list next. And let's not ignore the fear factor here. Court cases don't care about edits or fan favorites, they care about facts. If Wanda's evidence is strong, Melody could be facing legal consequences that go beyond embarrassment. Defamation claims, restraining orders, financial losses. Even if nothing criminal comes from it, the stain on her image could linger for a long time. And if Melody fires back with her own evidence, this could turn into a long, ugly battle that drags everyone down. At the end of the day, this isn't just about who yelled louder or who went viral. It's about control, truth, and what happens when private battles become public wars. Melody is standing at a crossroads. How she handles this next chapter could define her legacy. Will she come out stronger, proving she really is who she says she is? Or will this be the moment that changes how people see her forever? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. The courtroom drama has only just begun, and every move from here on out will be watched closely. Fans will speculate, critics will judge, and the truth, whatever it is, will eventually surface. So before you rush to conclusions, remember this. In situations like this, there are always layers, and sometimes the loudest truth isn't the real one. So stay watching, stay listening, because the next reveal could change everything. And when it does, you already know we'll be right here, breaking it all down piece by piece.